Master of the Mocking podcast. So
Good.
Good. Just want to keep the waftiness of my nether regions over here.
How do you do that? You just kind of go like that?
Every once in a while,
You wave it?
if I feel it coming up and hit me, I'll just go, oh gosh, sorry. Just keep
Just
it
go
over
on
here.
over there.
Just keep that stench over here.
Okay. Whose Series X controller is on me?
That
Is yours?
That would be mine.
Take it away.
Yeah, with the.
I don't play Xbox.
It'd be weird if I had a controller at Logan's house.
Oh, yeah, good point.
have you noticed my weird battery pack on here though?
Yeah, I did notice that. What the hell's going on there?
So I didn't realize it, but I bought it was like, oh yeah, this battery pack's compatible with all Xboxes. So I was like, sure, why not? So I did that. Not realizing that it is a battery pack that fits in and works with Series X controllers, but has a micro USB charger on it.
Oh.
But works in both because the Series X or S or whatever the new controller batteries are do not work, or the previous generation's play and charge kit batteries don't work in Xbox Series X controllers. Didn't know if you knew that.
You got a Nyko over there? Or
It's pretty much it's about it's definitely a Nyko or some type of Nyko-ish type of thing.
Is Nyko still around?
Probably.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that might have been-
NYKO for those of you at home.
I think that might have been like one of the ones that survived because there were a million of those.
Yeah.
Was Nyko the manufacturer of the 360 intercooler?
Yes.
That had to be.
You
The
remember
thing
when
that
Microsoft was
actually-
like, no,
Yeah.
don't. Do you remember that?
Yeah. It made it worse somehow.
Yeah.
That's a feat of engineering to add a fan on something and make it worse.
Did it really make it
Oh,
worse?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, this is causing, well, red ring would happen anyway.
Was it just was an excuse?
Maybe it
But
was.
oh, it could have been, especially if it was
I
Microsoft.
think it was that
Those
yeah.
things sold. I mean, they
Those
were
intercooler
popular.
things? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the intercooler fans didn't spin as fast as the internal fans.
There you go.
So it was causing the air to not have flow all the way through.
You're trapping hot
Yeah.
air.
I think that was the case, but I don't remember.
That was the RAM, right? Inside of the 360 that was like,
Yeah, it was like the solder melted off.
No,
of
it was
right?
the CPU.
it was the CPU.
Oh, I thought it was the RAM.
RAM.
No, it was because the CPUs in those were they were AMD style. So instead of having pins like Intel processors do, they had balls like AMD processors do.
That's right. They got
So-
balls.
Yeah. So when you have a it was like a ball in a socket that it was sitting in. It was cupping the balls.
No, it was not.
No, seriously.
Really?
And what happened was it would get so hot that the motherboard would literally like warp, and then the balls would not make solid connection. If it would have been pins like an Intel processor, it wouldn't have mattered because the pins went down in there. But
He was
So-
doing well until the pens, and then it made too much sense. But all the innuendo before that was pretty good. I'm looking at Logan. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, you're doing
balls
good
are
here.
connecting. Yeah,
Mhm.
yes.
I mean,
Logan, yes.
Obviously, it just goes to show you need some balls, or you got to keep your balls warm, or is it too warm? Don't keep them
not too warm. Yeah.
Don't keep them too warm. Keep your
Yeah.
balls nice and a nice room temp.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to get them too warm. They'll just you'll have a situation like mine, and they start to smell bad.
So is Intel sexier than AMD? Is that the lesson we learned?
Yes.
Yes.
If you cool them properly, I think it's okay.
Okay.
So just don't let your AMD balls get a little too hot.
Okay.
I think that's the moral of the story.
That still applies to this generation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I say everybody's got AMDs, don't they?
yep. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty standard for, affordability when you're building a
Yeah,
console.
that's true. Yeah,
You
can't
know,
afford
I don't
this
want to
Intel.
go off on a quick tangent. Do we know what kind of loss both Microsoft and Sony have taken on
I
manufacturing?
thought I heard Sony was around 50 per
have any idea?
console,
I
but I
have
don't.
not heard. I have not
thought I heard that at some
looked at
point. It was
this.
around $50, but I don't know about Microsoft. I have not heard anything.
That's not new. They both have taken losses at launch. Maybe for 3 generations now.
What, did the PS3 take a loss at launch? Because that thing was
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was because of the way that thing had its own custom components.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
the cell processor.
processor was ridiculous. They were really hoping that would catch on.
Yeah, but instead it made third parties be like, nope.
Yeah.
The PS3 generation, I know I've talked about it before, but what a bleep show, man.
Mhm.
And you have to have really messed things up because of the conversation we just had, which I forget often. Microsoft won that generation and all of their hardware broke. And
Yeah.
they still won the generation.
Yeah.
Are we starting on video games this week? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, we're talking about video game consoles.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it really was focused on balls
That's true.
for a while.
Oh,
yeah.
balls. It's
Speaking
always
of
back to the
balls,
What are you balls
about those
deep in, Caleb?
Yeah, they're
how about those meatballs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had the meatball
forgot.
and pepperoni sub from Firehouse Subs. I don't know
Oh,
if this
man.
is Firehouse, I believe, is a semi-nationwide chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
don't think
is.
they're like huge. I believe they are semi-regional, although, but there's plenty of regional fast food places around. So, for those of you who don't know, basically, Firehouse Subs is the equivalent of a Subway or Quiznos or Potbellies, something similar to that nature.
What's the other one
Jersey
that's coming?
Mike's.
Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of the places like that. So there's a pepperoni and meatball sub. I mean, there's been meatball subs for years. They just decided to throw some pepperoni slices on top of it and say, hey, this is something new. I mean, it is, I guess. I've never had a pepperoni and meatball sub, so.
So I'll start here.
Mhm.
I want to. There is a caveat at the end of my statement.
Okay,
So wait
okay.
for it.
He went to Panda Express.
No, I think this pepperoni meatball sub on garlic bread, by the way, which was
I thought about going garlic bread. I should have, I think.
I just did by default.
What?
Yeah, it was. You had the garlic bread on it.
I chose wheat.
I chose wheat as well.
I think they might have put the garlic on it anyway. Cause
I hope so. Oh,
You-
so they turned the
maybe you
wheat
just
into a
didn't-
piece of garlic bread?
Yeah, maybe you
I
just
hope
didn't
so.
taste it.
I
Go on.
But anyway,
Mhm.
I would say that this thing is among the best things that we've had for the first half of it.
What kind of story is he gonna tell here?
I don't know.
What does that
no,
even
it's not
mean
a story.
Okay.
for the first half of it?
Yeah, like what
I
happened
just,
the
I
latter half?
really, really liked this thing.
And
And
you
then
were
at some
stabbed
point
in the
I was
parking
just
lot?
like-
what happened?
At some point, I was just like, "This is too much. It's too rich."
Did you have a like what size did you
Yeah,
have?
let's go.
the
regular?
medium?
Yeah, there's a
whatever, yeah.
small, a
Yeah.
regular, and
The
a
middle.
big, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, what size did you go with?
Regular.
Regular. I went small.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That might have been the right choice
I think so.
because
Yeah.
I just
That
like
thing's only like 2 meatballs big then, right? 2 or 3
I think
maybe?
I had 3
That's
on
small.
there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
3
like-
hiding under two giant slices of pepperoni.
I think the greasiness of the pepperoni got to me at the end of that. I think that's what it
Okay.
was.
It was greasy.
Yeah, but that first half of it, I was like, "Holy crap, this thing's delicious."
So
No?
you had to
You
force
guys
it
know?
down.
No, have you
yeah.
ever, have you guys ever had Firehouse before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get them
Okay.
pretty consistently.
Okay.
You
I
don't
like
say.
that place.
Yeah.
I do like their subs there. I think they're pretty decent.
I like 'em. I like it too.
Yeah, I'm back consistently. I mean, like once a month or so. Like,
Okay,
not,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, as consistently as you go to get a sub sandwich
Right.
from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb and I know that catering is affordable from Firehouse.
Yeah,
so
that too.
We,
That it's horrible?
no, is affordable.
Oh, affordable.
affordable.
Okay. Got it.
Still a sponsor, Firehouse. Sorry.
Sorry,
Affordable,
Mhm.
not horrible.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in it. To
Really?
be honest, yeah, I went in with it. I think I maybe went into it with too high of expectations, and it's because I've been spoiled by other good meatball sandwiches at like those like, I don't even know what you call them, like family Italian places, like La Gondola, Avanti's, Michael's, like
Avanti's.
Avanti's
Does
is
not
not
count
good.
there.
Avanti's
I've never
Avanti's
had a
meatball
meatball
sub
sub
is
there.
not good.
It's not okay.
No.
I was gonna say, I
They're-
was like, I've
they're-
never had it.
There's
all of
something
their
that-
food is very mediocre.
It
like,
is. Yeah, it's very,
very
mediocre.
much in
There
mediocre.
there is one there's a place, it's Avanti's style-ish in Peoria called Michael's Italian Feast.
Those are good.
And those
Yeah.
meatball subs there are really,
Okay.
really good. And I think it's more has to do with the bread that it's on. Like it's more on the Italian sweet bread than just this plain ass piece of wheat bread. And I don't think I had any garlic on mine.
I'm pretty sure that's just a component of this sandwich. Is the
Yeah,
garlic.
he was shaking some stuff on there, and
Mine was heavy on the oregano,
yeah.
but I didn't mind it.
No, I didn't mind
Tasted-
it either.
It made me think like, oh man, this is like a pizza. That's what it reminded me of.
Hmm. Yeah, for me, the bread was just like, it just didn't match up. Like it was just like this bread and this components of meatballs just.
I got the white bread. Maybe that's the difference.
It could have
be.
been.
It
Yeah,
could
because
be.
my
It's a little sweeter
edges,
and
my
Sweeter
edges
bread.
were it didn't soak as well like a white would. So I
Mhm.
wonder if your flavor just soaked into
Maybe.
your white bread a little bit better.
Which
Maybe
same
we,
with like a sweet Italian bread.
maybe we
would do
made the
that.
wrong bread choice.
Maybe.
Although I liked it, but more than you for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what would you rate it then?
I'd give it a 7. I really liked
Okay.
it.
I was going.
I'm at an 8.
I'm at a 5. Like it was
Okay.
edible.
Wow, you really didn't like
Yeah.
it that much then. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have like a Subway meatball sub than this? Or would
Subway's
you rather
meatball
No.
subs aren't good either.
Okay, I'm trying to gauge
they're
like
a-
where we're at on the meatball
If
sub.
you
Mhm.
if you're really craving a meatball sub and you need something like quick, that's the place to go. But other than that, Subway, no.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if he liked it a little more than. Have you ever had? Speaking of Papa, have you ever had their meatball?
No, I haven't.
It's not very good.
No.
Yeah, it's one of their weaker.
I had a
Yeah,
tuna
which is-
salad from Potbelly's this week.
I'm
and it was
always
real
disappointed with them. I don't know.
Good. Potbelly's,
Just
really?
yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mm.
I think I really like their salads actually more than their
Dude,
sandwiches.
yeah.
Their salads are really good.
Powerhouse salad.
Yeah,
That thing with the hummus and the avocado.
Yep.
That thing's real good.
avocado, egg, just
Yeah.
protein out the wazoo.
Oh yeah, it's just
It's
like
a good it's
that's
a good salad.
salad.
And it's
then-
only like 500 calories with the big one or something.
yeah,
like
like it's
pretty
whatever the
reasonable.
container that it comes in. Yeah, that's pretty solid. I have nothing for next week. Anybody have anybody? Or
Sonic
anything?
unveils new Twisted Texan cheeseburger and new Twisted Texan foot-long quarter-pound coney dog.
Twisted Texan.
Let me guess.
I
It's
wanna
got
know what
onion
this
rings
is.
and barbecue sauce.
I think you're
Oh,
right.
man.
I think you're right.
You've been down this road before, haven't you,
Yeah,
Hoss?
Just a
Hardee's has got some
100%
more
pure
too,
beef
right?
patty topped with the brand's steaming hot signature chili, melted American cheese, and crispy onion strings, all layered on a toasty bakery bun. So you were close. No barbecue, chili instead.
Mm.
But that comes in a burger or a dog. That's an option.
That is an option. Hardee's has
Let's see what
got
else we
some
got.
sort of like. Remember when we had the A1 sandwich from Burt or Dairy Queen?
Mm-hmm.
They basically did the same thing at Hardee's, and we're
Yeah,
like,
they
we're
did.
throwing A1 on this thing and a bunch of other crap and calling it a sandwich. I feel like you know who I'm really disappointed in recently? Taco Bell. When was the last new thing at Taco Bell?
They
Dude.
kind of rebranded the way they do stuff with the pandemic, because they cut back a lot of stuff and then they're
Mhm.
slowly reintroducing old stuff.
That's what I mean. It's all just reintroductions of
Yeah.
old stuff. Like the nacho fries are 2 years old at this point. A quesalupa was from 20 years ago.
I think they're out of options, man.
Maybe they are.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like they've even, like the chicken craze, like they've even put fried chicken in tacos. You know, like,
But we haven't seen those yet. They're not nationwide.
are you sure they didn't for a while release a fried chicken taco? I'm pretty sure
there
they
was a
did.
fried chicken in a like a Crunchwrap style.
Yeah, that's
it was
okay.
it was amazing.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
what
had
I'm
it for
thinking of.
like literally like 2.5 weeks.
It was
But
like the flat chicken
recently?
patty.
No, this was years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I guess
I had one of those.
It was
It was
so
good.
It was good.
And then I
Um,
went back to get it, and they're like, "Oh, we're out." And I'm like,
It was
"You
like
had
weeks.
it for like 2 weeks."
Yeah, it was not long. Yeah.
The Steakhouse Angus Thick Burger from Hardee's is bacon, cheese, barbecue A1 sauce, onion, tomato, and that looks like a lot of mayonnaise on the bottom there.
What do you think, Caleb? You find anything else?
No, I haven't found anything else. But Logan, whenever Logan, let me throw out an observation. Whenever Logan comes up with an item for the fast food challenge, it's got to be like 1,400 calories.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something healthy that I've come up with.
Not just that, because all fast food's unhealthy. That to
the
be
chicken
clear.
sandwich,
But
all
it
three
just-
chicken sandwiches
like,
wasn't that crazy.
Every time you come up with something, it's just got to be like the.
All right.
Yeah, especially where it was like, go get the highest calorie sandwiches on the menu, guys, with the bacon and the burgers and all the cheese and mayonnaise.
That was
Yeah,
your idea.
was-
That was
it
your
It
call.
was unbelievable
that's
what that
true.
was.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no, I was the one who did that. That was
Sounds
absolutely.
Maybe I'm
like-
pointing fingers in the wrong place.
Yeah.
But no,
I-
let's do it.
What?
Because
You want to do the
You wanna
Hardee's
do the
route?
Hardee's one?
Or do you want to do the Sonic one?
I don't care. It does not matter to me. So
I don't care either way either. Like
I mean, we haven't done, because the Sonic one, there was a hot dog version, and we haven't done a hot dog. That's the only thing. But I'm not.
but do I want to do a hot dog?
I don't want to do a hot dog, as I would rather have a burger, but
Mm-hmm.
we would be reviewing a new food item. So I'm leaning towards hot dog, even though I would rather eat the burger. That's my opinion.
All right.
Because remember that phase we got into where we ate like 16 chicken sandwiches in a row?
I mean,
Like,
next week it's probably going to be a chicken sandwich.
maybe we should break up the burgers with a hot dog.
All right.
Maybe we should broaden our horizons a little bit.
All right. Let's go phallic. Let's do a foot long.
Yeah. Is
Okay.
it foot long, really?
I think
It is.
Oh
Yeah.
my
You
God.
when you rattled that off, you said a foot long coney dog with what all the fixins on
Yeah.
it there. So
Here goes. I can use the app at least.
Yeah.
Should be fairly painless.
every time I download it and every time I delete it as soon as I'm done.
Then a fast food challenge is around the corner.
I know. Then every time
Out of
they get me
nowhere.
with
I
it.
just have a huge growing folder of fast food
Oh, I know.
apps.
I know.
I
Just
do too.
because of
4
this.
pages long.
Because of this only, too. Yeah.
I deleted Burger King and I delete Sonic every time we do it. Well, Burger King never works for me, so that's twice in a
I
row.
figured out my issue there.
Yeah.
I didn't have my zip code correct in Apple Pay.
Oh.
And so now everything is working.
I had an issue with Apple Pay where I didn't have my last name in it. And that prevented me from
Oh.
using Apple Pay in a lot of places.
It was like 50-50 though, because some places accepted it.
yeah.
And then I was like, why are some of these
Yep.
canceling out?
Same thing. And it didn't tell you what the error was. It was
No.
just like, nope, can't use Apple Pay.
Which it makes you blame the app
Yep.
design or whatever, the app development, because you actually didn't have something populated correctly on the user's end,
Yep.
but it doesn't give you that feedback.
Right.
And
I'll
especially
double-check
because
mine,
I'm
yeah.
doing transactions
It
in
was-
other apps.
It was actually the place that caught it was actually Fort Jesse Cafe.
oh, really?
When I went to use Apple Pay there, an error literally came back that said you must have a last name provided. And I'm like, what?
leave it to Fort Jesse
Right.
to be the best at everything. God, so good.
Yep.
That place does not count. It has a wait staff.
It does.
I learned that's the difference. If it has a wait
that's
staff.
I mean that's on our list for brunch places.
Oh my
but-
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how far down it goes because
Just-
new places keep opening up constantly. It's hard to keep up.
Because I mean, it's basically no wait staff and a probably a drive-through is kind of our
This is where we're-
qualifications.
where we're
yeah.
Drive through
going
or
with
a
this.
counter. Like if you
Yeah.
order at a counter, I think it probably counts.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I think that's
Sure.
fair.
A counter, but no wait staff.
Yeah.
Oh, Wingstop counts.
Yeah, I would say Wingstop
Mhm.
counts.
Does Panera count? It has a drive-through, but then they do come
think it
around your
does.
table.
I think that counts. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty high quality fast food, but I think
Yeah.
it's
And also, it has to be a chain, right? Like, it
Yeah.
can't just be
Yeah.
like
No,
like The
yeah.
Rock wouldn't count.
no,
Right.
any
Yeah.
kind of boutique local anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
thing.
find. Here we come, Sonic, once again for maybe the third time.
Well, we've bounced around for sure. We've hit up Sonic multiple times. Well, it's their own fault for creating weird shit all the
Yeah.
time.
They're the ones that are doing it, and then there's a new commercial on all the sports every week. I feel like.
Yeah, that's where I saw the Hardee's thing this week was Golf Channel. I was just there was nothing on at like 1:00 this afternoon, so I threw on the Golf Channel while I was doing some dishes real quick, and I was like, "Oh, what's this at Hardee's there?" Like, "Ooh."
Ooh.
But let's get into video games for the week. So there a couple new things came out this week. We had
Yeah.
Returnal and Pokemon Snap.
So I've been playing that hot new video game that's a console exclusive that's also run based, where you get permanent upgrades occasionally that allow
Yeah.
you to go deeper in.
It's Pokemon Snap. Isn't it?
It's not Returnal, I'll tell you.
No,
that.
I know it's
That's
not.
not what he's talking about.
No, it's not. Oh,
Yeah, it's
what is
Pokemon Snap.
What is Pokemon Snap?
What is Pokemon? I didn't even know.
I didn't even know it was
even
a thing either. Because until last week, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be playing Pokemon Snap."
I had no
what?
idea.
There's a new Pokemon Snap.
Really, you didn't even know?
No,
No,
like I had
wow.
no concept.
This has been circled on my calendar for like a year.
wow. All right.
So explain.
Did you guys play this N64 version at all?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
I thought is it like Pokemon hunting Pokemon photo mode?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I think I understand
you
the
take
presence.
yeah. So the idea is that you're in a vehicle and you're on a set track. You're on rails. It moves for you, and you're moving the camera around to take pictures of Pokemon as they go past you.
Okay.
Safari adventure kind of style.
Yeah, and this is a game that I am absolutely loving, and know zero people that I would recommend it to. I don't think either of you will like this game at all.
I would probably plan on not either. Not even like friends of yours that are Pokemon fans.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same.
I don't know if I have many Pokemon fan friends.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. Okay.
Okay, so all right, I'm a casual Pokemon fan. I don't like any of the games themselves. I've tried. I just can't get into them. But I watched the cartoon
Okay.
and I like the movie.
Okay. The first movie.
Oh, sorry. The first animated movie and the most recent.
Oh,
like, the
Detective
live action movie.
Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu, yeah. So would this be up my alley?
So you have more nostalgia for probably the original generation of Pokemon.
Yes.
So maybe, but just know that that's like literally like a seventh of the Pokemon in this thing. There's going to be a lot that you have no idea what they are. So you may not get the nostalgia thing from that.
Got it.
But I think the thing that I'm really loving about this game is I really like games that have a good loop to them. And this game, basically what you're doing is you're, like you said, you're going on the rails, you're taking pictures of Pokemon, and at the end of each run, you're getting graded based on the pictures that you took. So each picture goes to the professor, and he grades them on how big the Pokemon is in your picture, if they're in the middle of the frame, if they're doing anything cool, like a whole bunch of different criteria for these Pokemon. But there's also 4 different star versions of each Pokemon. And what that means is the 1-star Pokemon is always just that thing just walking around or standing there, just the Pokemon by itself. And then the 2, 3, and 4-star versions of it are specific actions. Like if you get one mad, that might be the 2-star version. Or if it's Pikachu and you lure him over to ride a surfboard and take a picture of it, then that might be the 4-star version. Like stuff like that.
I might be in on this
As
now.
one does, you know.
Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
It's Pikachu goes into the Costco.
Yeah.
You know, there he is on a surfboard.
So, like, how do you lure him to the surfboard? That's
you have a bunch of, they slowly give you new tools as you go through. So at first you don't have any tools. All you have is a zoom. You can zoom in and take pictures. But then eventually you get like a fruit that you can throw, and like some of them have no reaction to the fruit, and other ones will go after and eat it or whatever. Or that's how you could get Pikachu to move over. You throw a bunch of fruit down on the ground, and then he'll follow them one at a time on the trail
until he gets the surfboard.
Very light puzzle solving that way.
So these aren't random acts. These are game design.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That helps me understand.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is, so for each one of those star versions, the professor will grade you on a scale of bronze, silver, gold, diamond. So you have a possibility of getting a diamond star on 4 different versions of each Pokemon. And as far as I understand, there's like 220 some Pokemon in this game. So you're looking at like, what? Do the math there real quick. 850-ish pictures that you're getting graded on. So there's a lot to do.
Do you have unlimited pictures you can take, like film, or is it okay?
You can take up to, I think it's like 70 per run.
Okay.
The runs are like probably 5 minutes each.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so it's not like you have the one chance to take the shot and that's it. Like you can,
you can wait. If it's a flying Pokemon, it flies past you once. You can wait for it to fly back across again.
Yeah, or
and
like,
stuff
yeah,
like
you
that.
get one of it, like it goes by this way, and you kind of get a crappy picture of it,
Yeah.
and then it comes by again. You have the ability to take more pictures.
Yes, Mr. Link.
I have a question. Could you possibly, on early game, could you possibly get? Did you say diamond?
Yeah.
Could you get a diamond shot?
Mm-hmm.
So is that random? Are your runs random in that way?
The Pokemon there's a little bit of randomness, but they pretty much always behave the exact same way every run. So if you miss it the first time, then you know, oh, okay, well, next time when I go through this archway or whatever, there's going to be a thing here I can take a good picture of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't have it all within one run.
No.
Because you're going to spend more time with an individual Pokemon to get the best shot.
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
I'm just trying to understand the structure of the run.
There's also, like, as you're accumulating these points that he's giving you, so like the points correlate to that diamond level or whatever. And as you get the points, they contribute to the level of the course that you're on. And when you level up a course, then the Pokemon get friendlier with you,
Okay.
or they behave differently, so that it makes it easier on the next run to get, like, for instance, in the very first course, if you immediately look out to your right, there's a bunch of, they're called buffalons. They're basically buffaloes. And you can take a picture of one, but it's pretty far out in the distance, so you're going to get a pretty low score on it. But if you get that course to level 2, the buffalons literally come right up to next to you on the course, and then you can take a big picture of it and get a good
I
result.
was just trying to understand the progression.
I think it's a cross between a buffalo and an elephant.
Yeah,
Buffalont?
That's
could be.
I don't know. Maybe it could be a Snuffleupagus too. It's very similar.
Charizard.
I believe it is a lizard that has charcoal attached to it.
Okay, name the other Pokemon you know. You ready? Yeah, we'll go back and forth.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, Squirtle.
Shit.
Are you out already?
I know. What? Pikachu.
There you go.
No. Okay. Machamp.
I'm done.
You're done?
Squirtle, Charizard, Pikachu. I think that might be
There's
it.
another starter one.
I knew Squirtle, but he took it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the other big ones.
Bulbasaur.
I've heard of Bulbasaur. I've heard the name before.
What about the
Psyduck.
Oh, Psyduck.
what
Yeah.
about the
Logan's killing me
the
right
legendary one at the
Mewtwo.
yeah.
now. Oh, I wouldn't have known that.
Oh, okay.
That was from the movie. I mean, that was more from the movie, I guess, than anything.
Was
Yeah,
that like an
maybe.
in-game Pokemon?
Yeah.
Early in-game
Mhm.
Pokemon? Yep. I think I'm
There
out.
was Pikachu.
Oh, I do remember
yeah,
Pikachu.
Pikachu, and then Raichu was the
I don't remember
evolved. Raichu is the evolved Pikachu, because there's Pikachu, and then Raichu are those.
I think it's Pichu.
Is it
Is
Pichu?
it Pichu? Is
I
it?
don't know. I like Pikachu.
So like a short. Oh, of course. I mean, it's the root word of Pikachu. Of course.
Yeah.
Pichu. Yeah.
Pichu.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was it.
But
Sorry.
so
Sorry to
anyway,
disappoint.
the thing I love about it is like there's always like it's got a one more run thing to it, because you're
Oh,
like,
okay.
if I do one more run, I can level this up, and then you level it up, and then you're like, well, now I got to see how it changed, or a new course opened up,
Mhm.
or whatever happened, or you get a new item that you can experiment with. There's always like one more thing that you can go to.
You think you'll play this?
I don't know. It depends on how bored I get at some point. This could be we got a big road trip coming up here, family road trip. So this might be a thing to throw on the Switch for something to do on a long road trip.
I honestly think you're going to find it repetitive.
Oh, probably.
I find it really engaging because of the loop, but I think you're going to have the opposite reaction to that. Be like, this loop is repetitive and grindy.
Would a 10-year-old girl like this?
Does she have any affinity for Pokemon?
She liked Detective Pikachu.
Okay. Maybe.
That's about it.
Maybe.
So,
There are three complaints that I have about
Mhm.
this game. One is that the load times are not great.
Oh.
It does take a good 30, 45 seconds to load into a level, which kind of sucks.
Just the
Which
Switch at this point, I think.
that could be a limitation of the Switch. Two is that there's not always a clear indicator of how to move on to the next thing. So like as of right now, I don't know how to unlock the next course. So I'm going to have to either look it up or just keep going on the other courses until I randomly do it. And then number 3 is that, and this is a very minor complaint, but it's on a Nintendo platform, so there's no trophies or achievements.
Yeah, you are kind of like going for nothing.
Yeah. So it would that would push it over the top for me if I had an end goal in mind, of getting either the 1,000
getting all
points or
diamond.
the
Yeah, I'm going to
platinum
diamond
trophy.
all of these.
Exactly.
So I can get the platinum to show
Yeah.
off. Oh, wait. There's nothing to show
Yeah.
off here.
This goes back to my, and you would know if this exists, and we probably have had, because it does, but this goes back to my want of either this already exists and I don't leverage it well enough, but I would like a achievement trophy system that was communal,
Universal.
Like a
universal.
universal thing, yeah.
Something that could track our progress regardless of platform, and benchmark games in the same way, I could be pretty into that. Just understanding, like, if there's a way Caleb's logged into Steam and he's made this much progress in this game, and Logan's playing this on the Switch, and this is how far he's into this game. Could I go to like a communal place and check all that progress, and if it's somehow hooked to all of the first party systems and pulled that data? And I know that's probably pie in the sky, but that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If there was a way to make that work.
Yeah, I could see if there was somebody who was like really dedicated to doing this, could probably pull something off. But at the same time, like, where's the revenue in it?
Right.
That's where there probably isn't. That's where it's probably why it hasn't been done.
It would be a way for you, Caleb, to have that like publicly be seen, and this is your progress in Pokemon Snap, the way the trophies and achievements are seen.
Yeah.
I wish there was something like that, but I understand why it's nearly impossible to do.
I have a feeling that if you guys play it, Jason, you're just going to be like, well, I get it, but this is not for me. And Logan, you're going to be like, this is repetitive. That's my guess. But I guess we'll find out if you guys do.
What's your attitude when you play it? Does it put you in a happy place?
Yeah.
Well, that's worth something.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, this is how many games are out there where the object is not to kill stuff. You know, this is one of the few. It's really refreshing.
Even Pokemon kill Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, literally.
I mean, that's the point, is the Pokemon fight. Yeah.
Huh. You know, like every game has some sort of combat in it pretty much. So when you get a...
we do tend to, at least as a group, find a couple of games per year that are like this, and we all seem to have a affinity for it, for whatever, Spiritfarer.
Yeah, there was nothing in that game that was combat oriented, right? I don't think so. I'm trying to remember if there was anything.
I mean,
the mini games that happen in the boat as you go through atmosphere conditions, but that stuff isn't. That's like collecting things.
There was like
I guess
there was one section, I think toward the end, where it was one of the mini game things that I think you had to like come across like some bad guys or something and stop them from getting on.
But yeah, that's a good example. But I mean, that's one game.
I know. I'm just thinking. Usually, let's just say, like, we have like a game a year where it's more of a puzzle platformy kind of thing or something.
Stardew.
There's combat in that though. You go through the mines.
You're right.
Yeah.
The mines, combat. Yeah.
That's what makes it a bad game.
Can we just do the rest of the podcast on our own?
Okay.
Can you just hit the knob over there that says
that one?
0 on Logan?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that's labeled Stardew Hater? That one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Irrecoverable soulless a-hole. Wow.
Irrecoverable even.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
That's just...
There's no redeeming you.
No,
You're
there's not.
a monster.
I know.
Kind of a person.
Is there any redemption in a marriage that is getting broken apart by
a small child's tears?
Small child's tears? Yeah, I don't know.
Did you guys start playing that?
We
did.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Put it for like an hour and 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we finished the second level, so the hammer and the nail level. So that's where we ended up. So
that might, like, thinking back on it, that might be one of my favorite like gimmicks is the nammer and hail.
That
Hammer
is
and the
correct.
hail. Look out below.
I know it's after this. Yeah, we go outside to the tree.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say what happens there because I feel like you need to see this for yourself.
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, what'd you think, Jason? What do you think so far?
We're flying through it because Logan's already played it.
Oh, okay.
And that's fine because so far I haven't felt like we're just kind of going and doing. I feel like the first time we needed to talk about something was the vacuum cleaner boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you needed to say, here's the pattern, here's what we need to do so we could accelerate the time we were doing it. But other than that, I feel like we were almost silently just like...
Well, because we've all played a video game before.
Yeah, the hammer and nail stuff was just like... we're
Yeah.
having another conversation, and I'm throwing the nails on the wall, and
Right.
he's jumping, and we're just not even
we had-
talking about.
We
the
did have to
thing.
do that one section where it had the two bars that went up along the side.
Yeah, we did need to talk about that.
We had to talk about that because I was like,
I
okay,
think-
you need to hit this one over here, and then I need to hit this one over here, and
You know, that might be a part of why I liked that section so much, because you just kind of turn your brain off and just do it.
It's pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
fairly intuitive. Yeah.
Mm.
The story it's too early to call because you
Yeah.
guys have seen how it resolves, and I haven't. But I definitely think there's some cringeworthy dialogue in there.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's
Mhm.
that's kind of what you would expect from what's the
Joseph Ferris?
Ferris.
yeah, but what's Ferris is it
Hazelight.
Hazelight?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mhm.
I said Hazelight and I was like, wait, am I thinking of Haze, the PS3 exclusive with the corn song?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
you're thinking of.
I was like, but when I started saying Hazelight, I was like, is Hazelight right?
Mhm.
But I've played A Way Out, so
It's
like,
corny.
yeah, I kind of know what I'm getting from him.
Yeah.
It's different though because I don't know. It's just a different story. Like A Way Out is like it is corny, but in a different way.
Like he was going for 70s action movie.
Yeah, like Shawshank and like troubled characters and like an adult drama. And
Mhm.
this is different. I feel like it's tonally just a little like a little off. But I don't know if that maybe changes with the story or if story development happens and I'll feel differently. But early on I'm just kind of like
I will say I think the worst stuff is the early stuff from
Agreed.
a story standpoint.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
comes around, but like I said, does it ever
You're-
fully
I
redeem
think
itself? Maybe not.
That might be kind of on purpose because I think you're supposed to kind of not like the characters in the beginning and then kind of learn to love them as they learn more about each other. And I think that might be a little bit on purpose, but it might be a little
So yeah,
ham-fisted.
it takes it to the extreme. It does. I mean, they kind of take
Yeah.
each other's to like that point where you're just like nobody really, no, like you kind of do.
even if you were undergoing this separation, like the way that they talk to one another, like in weird ways, like they're strangers, is a little odd in the beginning.
Mhm.
It's like, how would you not know that about this person?
Yeah.
Or why would you even engage in this conversation? Because you've clearly had it before. Like we're entering a part where they have like the exposition of why they're not getting along, when in reality, at this point, the conversation would be over and they would just be harboring some anger towards
But
one another.
we don't know that, the
Right.
audience,
And
so it
I
makes it
understand
difficult.
that.
Yeah.
So that's why, how do you tell that story and have it not be a little bit ham-fisted, a little
Yeah.
bit contrived, forced,
Mhm.
whatever word you want to use?
You know what they could have maybe used? Montage.
Yeah. That's a see. You know, you don't
Not
think
a fan
so?
of montages.
You wouldn't have. I would have taken that exposition
Like
over,
a minute of a montage of like what's happened since Rose was born, of like how
I
the
think-
dad was the one
I
taking care of
think-
her, and like she was working all the time, and
I think very talented writers could have found a way to do this
yeah,
without a montage and without the ham-fistedness.
I think I would take. I get what you're saying. I think I would take the montage over what they gave in that first part because it's like, by the way, you're never here, and by the way, I harbor animus for you because I'm the one who's here and you're the one out working.
Mhm.
And you don't take care of things like you should because I'm providing for the family and you should be the
It's-
one taking her to the dentist.
It's like in the TV show or the movie where they make sure to say the character's name so that you know it.
I'm a family guy.
Hi,
He said it.
yeah.
hello, hi, how are you doing, Jason? How is everything going in the world of where you work, which is this place,
Which is
Jason?
Thompson Corporated. Right. Jason.
I get it.
You're a family guy, Jason. You're an NCIS, Jason.
Yeah. You're in NCIS Miami, Jason. Or no, wait, where are they?
Everything's going here in NCIS Miami.
colon SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the Adult Swim show?
It was something like that. There was definitely
NTSD SUV.
SUV. I don't remember what
It was NTSD PDS SUV, I think.
something like that.
So we'll see. That could maybe it'll get better and it won't bother me as much. But that kind of stood out. Otherwise, playing it's great.
Yeah.
Playing it's real good.
Playing's
Play-
fun. Yeah,
playing
it's
is
a
good.
fun game to play.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, and now like every 45 minutes or so, you get a new mechanic. That's the best thing about that game is like right when it gets to the point where you're like, I'm getting annoyed at this mechanic, changes it up.
New one.
I think if you look at this game from the perspective of the story drives the gameplay and not vice versa, I think it's more successful that way.
Okay.
Like the story is just there so that you can move on to the next gameplay section.
And I would be more accepting of that, but knowing Joseph Ferris and like what he's going for,
Yeah.
like he wants to
He
make
wants
me
both.
he wants to make me cry in my
Yep.
sofa, and I'm just Joseph. I just watched this HBO drama that has me completely drained, and I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
You know, because you guys are you're way far off.
He was a great writer in 1986. Is really, I mean,
Tonight on CBS, Joseph Ferris's, and then I'm in. You know, where else am I gonna get it?
and then just the Magnum PI song kicks on.
There you go.
You know, he would probably been a good writer for Magnum PI. That's probably where he could have been. Or he probably could write for current day NCIS.
Yeah, I
Any
mean,
show on
he's-
network television, I
yeah.
think he'd probably fit right in.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Mainly CBS.
This guy's a genius. Can you believe this guy over here?
We got Joseph Ferris for the next season of Blue Bloods.
How are things on the Blue Bloods division, Logan?
This is my mustache from Tom Selleck. Like, do you remember me? I'm Tom Selleck. God, why is Tom Selleck coming up so much in this podcast?
I don't know. I mean, why not?
It should be. Tom
All right.
Selleck's mustache should
That's
be.
it. We're all growing mustaches.
Okay. I mean, I could just shave and
Yeah,
have
there you go.
I mean, just let it go.
Oh my gosh.
I do need a trim.
Yeah, you're the one with that one, Jason. You need to get
Yeah,
on
you're
that.
falling behind.
Come on, man.
That'd be no problem. I'll have one tomorrow if you need me to.
Right?
No problem.
Same problem. Shave in the morning. It's like 3 in the afternoon. Like, where's your 5 o'clock shadow? Like, that happened at 10 a.m.
I worked in a small company once. Logan knows this. There was only 3 of us, and I grew a mustache just to mess with the co-owner, the gentleman who owned it, and we were talking about work, and he's just like, and you got this weird mustache thing going on, and I can't focus. We're just talking, and he's just like, he's just
what
so
do you
honest
do?
with me. We're just talking back and forth, and he's just like, but you've got this mustache thing going. I just don't know what to do.
Like, what are you doing? Like, oh gosh.
Any other video games this week?
I did some Outriders.
Oh, okay.
So I turned that on.
That was it. He turned it on.
No, seriously. I turned it on. I fell asleep. It was
The beginning of the game was
Saturday
very
afternoon.
boring.
I was down here. Yeah, next thing I know, my wife comes down and she said she's getting ready to leave. And I was completely startled and just sitting here with the controller in my hand. I was having a conversation with somebody there at the beginning, and I was out. I don't know how long I was out.
15 minutes long, or
Yeah.
it's pretty long, right?
Mhm.
It's an interesting premise, but the way they present it isn't the most interesting.
Yeah, the idea is not that bad,
Yeah.
but the
Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Like,
the way it's delivered, though, once
yeah,
again,
we were on Earth, and we need to go colonize a new planet, so we have to find somewhere that's good. Like, sure, that makes sense.
yeah, but come over here, boy, and spend 10 minutes with me while I tell you stories. And
Yeah, you shoot these hologram targets for 45 minutes real quick, and then we'll move on.
It
That was
does
where I
take a
was. I was
while.
talking to the cowboy hat guy. I don't know how long I was sitting there either.
it's really not. It's a different game. About probably another 15 minutes later.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it changes into something else. How far did you play?
I got through. I mean, like I'm in the future now
Okay,
or
yeah.
whatever. So I did at least get through to
Things
that
are gross
part.
all of a sudden. Everybody's swearing and everyone hates one another and
Yeah, I have my like powers or whatever now. I've got a couple of
you're
those.
ripping people apart. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, super violent all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
like okay, now I'm a little more in on this, but yeah, I just completely fell asleep. I don't know if that speaks to just how poorly that game starts or how tired I was. I couldn't really pinpoint it,
I'd
but
say it's a pretty rough start.
It is a rough start.
okay, all right. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I can't blame it after that. Like the gameplay of it's fine.
I
We
think
could-
we're all in agreement
We
there.
concur.
This is
Like-
a solid 7.5, 8 game. I think.
At the same time, I don't know if I'm gonna play any more of it
Yeah.
either. Like I'm really not sure if I am. Like I played an hour of it, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, this is a thing.
It's that game where if one of the three of us or whoever that enjoys games we talk to, I really like playing Outriders. Cool.
Good for you.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't really want to play any more Outriders. Cool.
Yeah.
Sure, I get it.
Right. Yeah.
It's like just so middle of the road.
Yeah.
Let's give it the award for middle of the road game of
Most
the year.
middle of the
Yeah.
road game of the year.
It's like
Most video game of the year.
least controversial.
Least
like
controversial.
I mean, I'd say I can't knock it.
At the end of the year when we're talking about the recap, I bet one of us is going to be like, "Oh God, I completely forgot about Outriders." 1 to 3 of us will all say that.
Like remember Outriders? Be like, yeah,
Oh yeah, that was this
remember
year.
when they put that on Game Pass. Yeah, that was kind of nice.
I thought that was like
Otherwise,
a
I never-
PS2 game or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a PS2 kind of, premise or something style. Even like I don't know. It's just a.
Yeah.
Joseph Ferris's Outriders.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Now that's one way to.
So that would spice things up a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd make it
For
weird.
good or for bad.
For better or worse, yeah. I finished Genesis Noir finally.
Okay.
Just don't.
All right then.
There's no payoff to that thing. It gets super pretentious and way like somebody got really like they were high at first
Ah.
and then they took the shrooms at the
They're
end
double stacked now. Huh?
and it got a little too whacked out at the end for their own good.
It's
Like,
pretty whacked out already.
yeah, there was a section there like right before the end. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. They're showing like we're making black holes. Like this is kind of cool." And then after that, it went from being black and white to no longer being black and white, and it looked like it was straight out of the 60s. Like minus the tie-dye, it was just like, "Now look at all the color. Look at all the lights. Isn't this fantastic when we open up our minds to the lights?" It was so fucking bad.
No one hates that kind of stuff more than Logan. So he's being honest. No one right? Hates that stuff more than him.
I could see that. I could see that.
It's just and there was no story payoff either.
That also, I get it. That thing drives me crazy all the time too. When somebody thinks that they have a profound thought, and it's like a thought that everybody in the world has had. I hate that.
Yeah, it was pretty much like, hey, this is like kind of this whole cool theory on like, oh, like the Big Bang, like this all happened, and the Big Bang was actually this like gun going off, and you're like slowly figuring out like how to essentially stop this thing from happening, stop this girl from getting killed by building a black hole so that you can warp time into keeping her alive. Okay, great. Like this is in like the whole time you're learning about space and all the other like pieces and like string theory and like all these other like singularity and going through all this stuff, and then it just is like turns into this bullshit thing at the very end.
I
And
think
it
what you're
sucks.
describing there is the same way I feel about Detroit.
Oh,
In the thinks it's making a very profound, very cerebral statement, and it's not.
no, that's just David Cage being David Cage. That's
When David became uncaged, there's just no turning back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, man, that story has been told. I mean, that story was told like in 80s sci-fi.
oh
Right,
yeah, it was a
you know?
complete 80s sci-fi thing, and like
Yeah.
it was I took it for
I get
what
it.
it was and just
I do think, and I know you and I have talked about this a little bit, Caleb, I won't defend that game. It was like my 10 that year.
It was like my
But I
8.
will
yeah.
say that depending upon how you play it, there are some redeeming things in there. But if you don't play it that particular way or see a character story in that way,
Yeah.
then
You're
there's
gonna-
like
mhm.
there's
You're gonna have a bad time.
right, yeah. It just depends because there is some. I think there is some good stuff in there, but it's just swimming in all of the like.
Hey guys, do you think slavery might have been bad?
God,
Like,
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Exactly. That's
Ugh.
yeah. It was a little heavy-handed, very heavy-handed,
Yeah.
and just.
Look
but
nice.
yeah,
Oh, it
it
looked real
looked oh,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's.
At that point when it was released, it was probably the best looking game of all time. Like,
It's
It
still
may
pretty
have
high up
been,
there. That's for
yeah.
sure. I mean, I would say it still holds a candle to
Yeah.
do a lot of
like, I
things.
haven't
good
looked at
looking
it in years now, but at the time it was released, man, I don't think there was anything that looked like it.
I mean, Heavy Rain was the same thing too when it
Yeah.
came out. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, this looks real good.
Yep.
And Beyond was also looked good, but was dumb. But
That was even a worse example of
That's
the
when he
thing I'm
lost
talking
me.
about, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
well, I just meant from a
Yeah, yeah,
visual standpoint.
Yeah. Should have just stopped it.
Did
Indigo
you finish
Prophecy.
Beyond?
No, I never even touched it.
Beyond is nuts. God,
The
that
ending
game-
to Beyond is the.
It's
okay,
kind
let's
of yeah.
not
There you
even.
go. Genesis Noir, David Cage, similarities there
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
It
Put our
is-
stamp on it.
it
The
is-
Master of Unlocking says.
I will say, if you do
I'm
ever
not gonna
need
make a new
1,000-point game, this
Please.
is a this
Please
is
do.
this is an easy 1,000 out of 1,000. There is no.
Not even I
Did
care
you
about
guys-
that anymore.
Did you guys
Hmm.
see the guy? I don't remember what his username is now.
Stallion 83.
No, the trophy equivalent of him, or one of them.
Mm,
Oh,
I don't know if I
um,
know who that
Power
is.
Picks?
No, but anyway, I think it was just yesterday. He got 100 platinum trophies in 24 hours. Actually, it was more like 22 hours when he was all done.
What game? Like that's impressive. Like
Like he had to prep for that hard and then execute it.
you have
that's
to find the
insane.
games
Yeah.
for one, that you can do that in, and then because I mean that's even because I don't
Jeez.
think Avatar: The Last Airbender is an option.
No, it is. That
It
would
is?
be right. There was a
Well, I
PS3
don't-
version of that, so
But were there platinums back then? Because there wasn't always platinums on everything back then.
that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they didn't start the platinum thing until later. I remember Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't launch with trophies like it was supposed to, and you had to like go back and replay it because they added them in later. I was like, yeah, no thanks, I'm not playing
Yeah.
that again.
How good was Old Snake smoking?
That load screen's great.
Well,
It really is
also
incredible.
the trophies in that game suck too.
Do they?
Oh,
I played it
never looked
after
at
the trophies came
Mhm.
out, and I think I played through the entire game without looking at trophies because I didn't even know what they were at the
Mhm.
time.
Sure.
I think I got 2 for playing through
wow.
the entire.
I
game.
wonder. I bet ours are. Well, no, you and I both played it at launch, so we don't have trophies
Yeah,
for
we
that.
would play
It was.
more.
They're all like finish the game with this rating or what, like the Silent Snake rating or
Right.
whatever. Like
Oh.
there's like 15 that are all different ones, so you have to do a different
Ugh.
run for each one of those. It's really bad.
Yeah, some of those are just horrible. Some bad trophies, bad achievements.
So I think I got like finish the game, and then whichever rating I got was the other one. I think that was it.
Interesting. Any other video game related stuff for this week?
Not for me.
I played more of the show. I pretty much play the show every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna do their March to October campaign, which is just like picked situations in games. So you're playing like anywhere from 1 to 4 innings
Oh, that's not bad.
of every 6 or 7 games, we'll say. And the better you do in those games, the better your team performs throughout the season. It's a March to October is really awesome because it's like a very brief way to feel like you've played an entire season. So I'm in like August of my 2021 season. I really like that mode a lot. I played through it last year. I'll play through it again this year, and then I might be done. But I really like that game a lot. It's certainly not perfect, and it feels exactly like the game I played last year. So there's some little, like, as I've played more of it, I've realized like I think it might look a little bit better than the PS4 Pro version. A little bit. The frame rate's better. So like, there's little nice little things. I think when I play a lot of day games, it seems like, but when the lights go down, the shine of the bats and the helmets, and there's a little bit of like on the uniforms, you can see the subtle reflections of their numbers, where like the vinyl part of the number shines in certain light.
Yeah.
And there's little touches like that look really good. But then also it's like, man, that's that guy's facial capture model from the like mid PS4 era. You gotta update that. Like you gotta do something.
I'm sure that was
about
probably a pandemic struggle too. Like, how do you? I mean, getting people in to do those and stuff, especially with basketball's a little easier. There's not as many guys to go after.
I think you're right about that because the teams are larger. It's harder to do that. If a guy doesn't want to do that, they probably can't get them to do it.
Yeah.
And so I get it, but the results are like some character models look fantastic and others look.
What about swings and stuff? Are they?
The batting stances are all dead on.
Mm-hmm.
The swing and follow through. I know I talked about this a little bit last week, but the swing and follow through animations are mostly canned, unless it's a home run trot. That stuff matches their signature like bat flip, or like Nolan Arenado holds the bat out and he walks with it down here and then he flicks it, and that's what he does. So all of that stuff, like Javi Baez looks dead on like to his. But then there might be like the triple, like the gapper opposite field gapper, and the animation for that is the same no matter who you are, because it's not like a power swing where they're just walking and admiring their home run. It's like it's just the same canned animation where they kind of stretch out their arms a little bit and then they hustle down the line.
Yeah.
But for baseball fans, like different guys look different doing that, and they all kind of have the same approach to that. They'll always like Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals. When he hits a home run, he does the same thing every time. And that's not in the game, but it's the same thing he does when he hits a double. It's weird. He holds the bat, he holds with both hands. He holds the bat, and then he runs with it like that and flicks it with both hands. No matter whether it's I'm hustling watching this ball hit the gap, or I know it's gone. He does the same thing either way. And that's like the little stuff that they have room to grow on. Because I know now we're at the point where, because we've seen 2K do it, like our animation, like the amount of animations they can put into a game is enormous now.
Yeah.
So they can do it, and hopefully they will. I think it's a pandemic thing.
It could be, or it could be that 2K thought, let's do this, and whatever. So Sony was just kind of like, like we don't need to do it. Like Santa Monica. They don't, right? Maybe that's part of the issue. I guess 2K for one doesn't need to either.
Same
They don't
thing,
have
really.
any competition, but it just wasn't a thought at that point. And
I think the difference is one was ready to show out on the new systems right away in a pre-pandemic development cycle.
could be, maybe.
And I bet the show was like
6
partial
months.
pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So I still don't know if that had a huge thing to do with it, because they maybe all of this like cross-platform stuff and the having MLB be the publisher on Xbox, and maybe all of that equated to like,
I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. Like, oh
Let's
my
just make
gosh,
the
now
same
we have
game.
to make this thing for a completely new platform. Like,
maybe
that
we
could
just
have been a
make
part
it,
of it.
and put it out and have it be a little bit shinier, and that's it.
I really wish I could give credit to whoever tweeted this, but I forgot who it was. But somebody said, "Isn't it amazing that Sony published a Xbox Series X game before Microsoft did?"
Right? That's awesome.
I'm trying to think if there actually is one, and I don't think there is.
Well, because there's plenty of stuff that is Series X like compatible that launched on like Gears
But not
Gears
made by-
Tactics.
But that
That was a PC
that was,
game.
Yeah, it was PC first, and it might even be Xbox One,
I can't think of anything, sadly.
right? I wish I could remember who tweeted that, because I would give them credit. But
It's
this
pretty
is not
good.
an original thought.
It's pretty good.
At
Well
the
done.
same time, if like you're saying though, it is it probably could have played on an Xbox One, Does it play on Xbox
Yeah, no,
One?
it's available
Oh,
on
okay.
Xbox One.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So then it's not okay.
It's not exclusive.
It's
but
not
it's
well, but
still
it also is a
game.
previous platform
Yeah.
game then too.
Yeah, there's been some smart delivery problems. Is the only way I know that.
Oh,
Is-
really?
Yeah, because of
Huh.
they've been pretty good about recognizing what system, but there have been some like if someone buys, that's the issue. If someone buys a digital copy of it, there's a chance you could buy the wrong version for your there's the Series X and S version, and then there's the Xbox One version, and you could buy that version without Game Pass. But Game Pass is where they put the smart delivery stuff in. So it's weird. Like, how could you not have thought of this? Not everybody
Yeah.
has Game Pass. I know we love it. Game Pass is great. Not everybody has
Everybody
it.
should have Game
Yeah.
Pass, yeah. Huh.
That was it for me.
I haven't heard of that being an issue of like people buying Xbox versions like Xbox One versus Xbox Series versions. I've heard that being an issue on the PlayStation, but I haven't heard about that.
I think the difference was people that were buying it straight up, no Game Pass. I think that was the issue.
I'm just trying to think of like any other like Assassin's Creed. Like, were people buying the wrong version of that on a Series X? Because that was from what I heard, a pretty decent issue with the PlayStation of people not knowing which version they were buying and then turning it on.
Or not
being
knowing.
like,
I think the bigger issue is not knowing which version they're playing, because a lot of those games you got both,
it gave
and
you both.
sometimes
yeah.
by default it would install the PS4 version.
Yeah, maybe that was the issue more than anything. Not buying it was just which one are you actually playing right now, and then it downloading both versions, and you're sitting on like 200 gigs worth of stuff.
The same thing. I think this is probably in the same boat of when the PS3 first launched, and I had a buddy that bought one pretty early on, and that thing did not come with an HDMI cable. So he was using the old RCA out of his PS3, and I went over there one day. I'm like, this looks like garbage. Oh, that's why. So I snuck over an HDMI cable and changed it out for him, and he's like, oh my God, this is a game changer. I wonder if it's kind of the same situation with like, okay, delete the PS4 version, install the PS5 version.
Oh, it could be. That's for sure.
This is me once again being hard on that generation for Sony. But do you remember that difference when you hooked up the RCAs for the PS3? Because for whatever reason, the 360 with those RCA cables looked okay, and the PS3 was like
Garbage.
I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it was about that, but there was the regular connection for the 360 that looked like a next gen system, regardless of what you were playing with, and the PS3 looked terrible. And then you put an HDMI cord on the back of the PS3, and it's like, oh my God, it's like a completely different console.
Yeah.
I don't know why And then you hook up a
standard def versus high def. I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't a resolution thing just alone. Like something about
like
the
staticky or
something
I don't
about the
know.
standard PS3 RCA connection was markedly worse than the 360 one.
There was one game because I had a PS3 when they were still putting out PS2 games.
Was that Final Fantasy?
There was Final Fantasy 12 and God of War 2.
Okay.
Where both came out after the PS3 had come out. And one of those games I had to, I can't remember which one it was, I had to play it on the RCAs, like on my PS3, because I didn't have a PS2 anymore. I traded it for the PS3 because it was freaking $600. But yeah, there was one of those games, I can't remember which one it was. You could not play it HDMI. Like it stretched it out so bad, like it looked awful.
That's interesting.
Like because it was trying to widescreen it, and I'd go into the settings and try to change it, but it wasn't. There was something at the firmware level that was like, nope, like it could not figure it out.
Interesting.
Might have been God of War, I think, because now that I think about it, it was more of like a side. I think it was like a side-scrolling issue, and it was just like, what is happening?
I remember you playing Final Fantasy via HDMI. I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
Yeah, because it did look better.
That was like an improvement.
Mm-hmm. It might have been God of War 2.
I'll never forget that. I hooked it up via RCAs and was like, this doesn't feel like this feels like I just wasted $600. Like I expected it to look like worse, but I didn't expect it to look terrible. And then I turned back on my 360 with the same connection,
Yeah.
and I'm playing Dead Rising, and I'm like, this is clearly like a next gen game, both not on HDMI. I was, man, it's a rough thing to buy.
I mean, it did look way better on HDMI.
Both, yeah,
But,
both
yeah.
did. Just the difference between the two consoles was huge, surprising, because I didn't have an HDMI. But when I bought both systems, I was still not on HDMI TV, and the 360, I was like, oh, this makes sense.
2000, what was that? 2005.
It was
Not a lot of people were on.
2006.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I had a TV with RGBs. I think was
Yeah.
the best I had.
I had component,
Yeah,
but I
component,
wasn't
yeah.
using them. So then I went out and got component cables for both.
Mm-hmm.
And that looked a lot better, and then eventually graduated to HDMI. Well, and I think that component TV was 720. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not though.
Most TVs back then were 7.
I think it might have been a 4x3 set with full component. Now that I'm thinking about it, like somewhere in the middle, like that weird middle step.
That Philips I had was a component.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I
Mhm.
used all the components on that Philips.
Yeah.
That might have been it. Which made it an indefinite improvement,
Because
but not
my
HDMI.
original OG Xbox had components, and we used components on that,
Oh yeah. Wow.
which is why Halo looked better than it should have, I guess.
Yeah.
At the time.
Like the bump mapping actually
Mhm.
showed out on Halo 2 with component.
Yeah. Weird.
You know the gaming topics?
I don't think I've got any because next week's gonna be heavy. I think so.
Is it?
Resident Evil.
When
gonna
does
be-
that launch?
Is that on Friday?
Friday.
Wednesday?
Wow.
Friday.
We'll see how far we all get into it.
Yeah.
Caleb will be 3 times as far as we are into it, but
Caleb will have finished it, maybe, depending upon
Probably.
length.
Do I just take Friday off
You
work?
do.
Maybe I
I'm
take Friday off
I'm
work.
half tempted
You
to.
do. You both do. You
I
take
have
it
so
off
much
for me.
freaking vacation.
Same. It's the last day of finals week. Why not?
You should.
I'm
Absolutely.
Gonna, yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into this. So graduating into TV, I think we just gotta start with it, right? We gotta start with Invincible.
Okay.
Um,
No.
no.
Caleb says no.
So I will say I think I sat in the chair Thursday night when that came out. It's a reclining chair. I turned it on. I never actually reclined the chair, and I sat there with my jaw open for about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say.
I don't
about
either.
The finale, because it is the same quality as the rest of the show, which is exactly what I was hoping for.
Mhm.
But like, I don't have a lot to say that we haven't already said about this show. So
Alan the alien came back.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. As soon as he came back, I'm like, Jason's gonna love this.
So psyched. I realized that when it was an Omni-Man. When it was an Omni-Man, I realized, oh man, could
Yeah.
it be Alan? It's totally Alan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that show. Yeah.
It's been renewed for seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Which is amazing.
Which is pretty much what they kind of set up there at
And
the end.
The end where they kind of flashed each potential villain
And
in a row.
storyline. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, they could go in any of these directions and I would be happy. Like literally any of them. I have a feeling we're not going to see Omni-Man for a while.
I think you're right. I think Omni-Man is going to be gone for a while.
So I'm
Spoilers.
hoping that we kind of tie up some of these other villains, and that gives Invincible the experience, whatever he needs, and then maybe at the very end of the series we get the dramatic
Mm-hmm.
conclusion fight or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Conflict.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, man, that was real good.
yeah. And the whole time you're thinking, when Omni-Man is giving his speech or whatever, like you're thinking, well, there has to be more to it than this, but there's not.
No,
They're just bad.
that's
They're
what
just-
Viltrumites do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. The my only concern is that, like, if this is the big arc for that show, that, like, is this just going to become a weekly serial thing?
Monster of the week.
Right, monster of the
Villain of the week.
Yeah, that's my only concern is, like, the the overall through line of the show, of what that looks like week to week, because there was so much going on in season 1 and this, that I'm a little concerned about what that means for season 2. I have no idea what it means.
Right.
I mean, as long as they kind of have like a
I mean, I guess we could go out and find the comics and see, but no.
read. This is an elementary school.
So you guys feel good about the finale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I think I needed a cool down after that first 20 minutes or so. That was a lot. That was heavy. There was a lot going on.
Did you not feel the same way? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much as I had other parts of that series for sure. But I mean that's okay. I think I had an expectation that was too high
That happens
for me. I don't know why. I think it was because I was so surprised by the quality of it, and then I didn't enjoy the way that they handled some things in the finale. And I think there's smarter ways to make an impact on viewers than going to the easy wells that they did. I felt like there was some boys crossover in there that I didn't enjoy. Anytime you involve children, it's easy. Anytime you kill civilians in that way, it's easy. And I know that's the thing that I did not like about the first season of The Boys, and they waited and they didn't do that until the finale. And then the finale, they were like, children, 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 civilians, civilians, civilians. And I was like, okay, I get it. And they just kept, it was like really heavy handed. In the same way that it was like the same stuff with The Boys. It's like, I get it. Homelander's bad. He kills civilians. He lets children die. I get it. No, I get it. Stop. Like, it just was pretty heavy-handed. And it lost. And by the time we got to the train, okay, let's move on.
Overkill.
Let's move on.
I don't know.
Enough.
I think I disagree with you, but
That's okay. We didn't necessarily agree about The Boys on that because you thought that some of that stuff was fairly impactful and I didn't. And like I think it's probably going to jive with audiences either way. And I don't hate that episode. It's just I think it was a little much because I know what they were going for and they wait to play that card, but then they just played it and then they played it again and then they played it again. And that's where I was like, fine. So I was really happy to see that cool down stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I would expect that character to be a little more traumatized. But at the end of the episode, he's joking with Al and the alien. And I'm like,
I don't know how long it passed.
yeah, maybe they didn't do a good enough job because he did spend a lot of time in that hospital bed. So maybe they didn't do a good enough job of. Maybe there should have been a montage.
Everything can be cured with a montage.
He's sitting with Adam Eve and his girlfriend and his best friend at the restaurant.
Mm.
And it seems like they're about to like acknowledge that he is traumatized by this. He's like, can we talk about something else? And I thought like that was going to be it, but it quickly goes away. And then before you know it, it's like, it's kind of like a cheerful end. And I would just expect him to be a little more traumatized by all of that.
That's fair.
Maybe he is, and maybe that's what season 2 is going to be.
If that surfaces in season 2, I might be more satisfied, honestly, because it seemed really disjointed. Because if they're going to go that hard in these are what superheroes would do to civilians if they didn't care, and this is how children would die in this way. Like if they're going to do that, like. Then do it, then own it. Don't have him be like, Alan the alien at the end of it. So I just think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And the only reason I'm disappointed by that is because I feel like it was perfect for 7 episodes. Like they could have gone there, but they never did. Like, oh man, they're kicking the crap out of each other and these civilians are getting banged up. But okay, a few deaths, that's realistic. But then the first 20 minutes of that episode is all about that.
Yeah.
It's all about that.
And see, I found that to be super impactful. Like
Okay.
I don't think if that would have been 5 minutes, I don't think I I think I would have been like, okay, well, I guess he's kind of evil, but
He's
you
kind
know,
of evil.
you know what I mean?
he's
Like,
he's
I
pretty
think
much the worst.
my read on that is they needed to do that to show like just how screwed up his mind is, and how screwed up that culture is. But I understand what you're saying.
But I think I'm with you on the whole, just like how at the end he is not as, I don't know, I guess like he's not impacted by it enough, because he before he leaves he's going up to see his mom to say, hey, what do you want to get some pizzas for tonight, and she's just a mess, which means in all reality she's still a mess about everything. He was in a coma for how long? He just woke up and it was just kind of like, okay, well, we go hang out with my friends now.
My read on that situation is that's what triggered him to be so not emotional, is because he thinks he needs to hold it together for his mom. So that's why I think in season 2 there's going to be some point where he can't hold it together anymore.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'll buy that.
Also, not like, is the robot a bad guy?
I mean, everybody's kind of a bad guy.
Like you said, they're all in play.
Right.
Everybody's
like, man,
in play.
like,
yeah. And I don't want to. I do think that the first 7 episodes of that show were perfect for me. So, I think it's still an unbelievable television show. I would have liked to have. And maybe it's true to the source material, and you only have so many choices.
Yeah.
So, and if the source material dictates that, it dictates that. You know what I mean? You can decide whether or not ultimately how to execute that. But
I kind of wonder if there was like just an entire issue of just that fight.
maybe.
Where it's just like
I could
people
see
are
that.
picking up that issue and reading it, and they're like, "What is going on?" You know.
I mean, the train thing is something I want out of a Mortal Kombat fatality. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I like you really see something from that, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. But if it does come back, like you say, then if it's in service of the larger arc, then I could probably be on board with that. The thing that we won't know until, and who knows how long it'll be, year and a half probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
No,
Maybe sooner.
Yeah, it could be a year probably. I don't know.
Getting all that voice talent in the same room again.
I think they do all that stuff remote. I think most.
Yeah,
I mean,
voice
maybe,
acting
yeah.
is a lot of the time you're just like, okay, do you have somewhere that you can go?
Sorry, not in the same room, but on the schedule.
Yeah.
That's probably not as hard as you think it is to get those
Ooh,
people.
I don't know,
I
man.
hope not.
There's a lot of busy actors in that show.
Yeah, it's all people that work.
Yeah.
It is, but I think you can squeeze in a day for somebody or whatever to come in and do some of that stuff. Like, I don't know, like I'm sure Walton Goggins has a day here and there when he's not on set of the Unicorn.
He is so good. God, he's good in that show.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
straight fire, just the best. That reminds me, something I've been meaning to mention. Are we done with Invincible?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
The thing that City on a Hill does really well is it's like justified in the way that Raylan's character and Boyd's character are at each other's throats and borderline want to murder each other, and then all of a sudden their goals are aligned, and they have to work together. The two main characters on that show do that. I think it took me a while to put my finger on it, but
why that show works.
yeah, the second season it begins scorched earth between the two of them, and by this week's episode, season 5, it was like, I hate you, let's go do this thing. Like the common understanding of like two characters.
that might be a theme for you, because Breaking Bad had a little bit of that too.
Yeah, Walt and Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that stuff where Walt wants to kill Jesse.
Yeah.
And he's Mike's guy, so Walt can't touch Jesse because he's Mike's guy. And then it warps all the way around to Walt protecting Jesse again. I do like that stuff a lot. So maybe that's a common theme for me. Something I really enjoy. I wonder if there's a name for that. There's probably a common
There's
Romeo and
like
Juliet
a trope.
A trope,
like,
yeah.
I wonder. I'll have to look at that because that's all I have to say about that show.
That's your watch list for the next year. Is just whatever's on that list.
Yeah.
I hate
What's
you.
the
I hate
opposite
you.
of-
You hate them? Let's hate them too.
Yeah. What do you call that? Not buddy comedy. Buddy hate drama. What do you
Buddy hate drama.
hate buddy drama?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, that's kind of a.
And how everyone on the periphery just gets laid to waste. That's what I still watch that show, like that show. That's on my weekly. I'm starting to collect weekly shows. I'm starting to find So I watched that. I watched Mayor of Easttown on HBO. Watched the second episode of that.
That's still working for you?
Yeah, it's good. It's much. The second episode, I think, is more interesting than the first because the first is just so much exposition, and like I said, you can see what's going to happen a mile away. So you're like, God, just kill the
Get to it,
character,
yeah.
get it over with, make me sad. This one's more about. It's like The Killing. It's starting to reveal itself as The Killing.
Okay.
Like the end of the second episode is like, ooh, suspect. Like the last.
That was.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly The Killing
It's
every
like
week.
The last sentence, like points the finger at someone, and then that character's on the screen and it cuts, and you're just like, I'll do this if that's what
Wait,
the
you
show
have
is.
no alibi for 11 p.m. Credits.
Yeah, that's exactly
Right.
You had this relationship with this character. So that's my other weekly. So I've got 2 Sunday night shows going, which is just shocker, Jason. Sunday night shows.
Sunday HBO shows.
Mhm.
Jason. I guess I should say
Cable
Sunday
network.
night premium cable.
Mm-hmm.
That's your nickname from now on.
Sunday-
night premium cable.
Sunday night premium cable.
SNPC.
Colon. SVU.
Speaking of text acronyms, that was the title of this week's Big Shot. This is your John Stamos
Oh
moment.
yeah, timer.
Yeah,
So
can I get
4
my
minutes
John-
this week, right?
I think so.
Pretty generous, actually.
Well,
I thought we were
said
done.
we were having it, and last week was 8.
All right,
so
get it ready. Hold on.
yeah, we got to get
He's setting the timer.
Okay.
We're gonna do this.
timer for
Do I have to
0
go the full 4
hours,
minutes?
4 minutes.
No, well, let's see if
Okay.
you can actually talk about
Go.
Big Shot for 4 minutes. Go.
Okay, so this week's Big Shot.
Why are you speeding up?
He's nervous.
Okay.
He's anxious.
Well,
Your timer being there. 3
his
minutes and 49 seconds, Logan.
his daughter comes to live with him this week, and he constantly texts her TCKS, and she's like, "Dad, what does TCKS stand for? Take care, keep safe."
That's not a thing.
It's not a thing, but he's trying to make it a thing. That's what he was like. She's like, "Dad, that's not a thing." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to make it a thing." And that was
I feel like that's every show with like a teenager that's a kid in the show. Like
Mhm.
it's always a thing is that the parent will try to make up an acronym.
I didn't say the show was good.
Hold that thought, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you like to say about Big Shot?
Well, I mean, John Stamos still looked good in it this week. He did not run this week, though,
Oh,
which
that's good.
was kind of sad that he didn't run.
Anything else?
Yeah, I, mean, I can talk about a lot of things
'Kay, keep going.
with Big Shot this week. So when
Let's
his
go
daughter
full 3 minutes here.
when his daughter came, she didn't get her the school uniform, so she had to show up to school not in the school uniform.
Naked?
Oilers.
I know, right?
Jeez.
And then she immediately gets in a fight with the other teacher that he's been having a fight with.
That's the porn parody.
Mhm.
You know, Big Shot.
Yeah.
No, it's the actual show's name. Hold on.
Mhm.
We got to workshop this.
Yeah. We can work with this. But
I know,
keep
it's
going.
fine. Okay, yeah, I know. You guys are filling a lot of my time here. I don't know what to do. So she comes and moves in with him, but he's still living in a hotel. And he got her the adjoining room, but you don't want to move out to California and see your dad, but just in a hotel room.
And then the door busts down. Hi, I'm the mayor. Rolling shit.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I got it. I got the porn parody title.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it just be like Big Money Shot?
That's fair. So.
Well done.
Mhm. But it's high school basketball, but he's treating it like it's the pros or college is what he was. He was coaching at University of Wisconsin, by the way, was where he was at.
Oh, so they were scoring like 35 points a game.
Yeah,
And just beating the crap out of their opponents every night.
It was
Cool.
35
Yeah.
to 19. It was every game. So anyway, he's like watching film on other high school things and like treating it like it's just the NCAA championships and everything, and not spending enough time with his daughter. And of course, by the end of the episode, he goes and actually gets a new place and realizes that I forgot his dad died during all of this episode. So they go to the funeral and everything, and he realizes that he's not been a good dad because his dad wasn't a good dad. His dad always told him he was embarrassed by him. And
So with your last 45 seconds, I
Mhm.
would like to know, one, are you enjoying this show? And two, is your daughter enjoying this show?
let me start with my daughter. She like one was asking or all week, when does the next Big Shot come
Wow.
out, and she was like really excited about watching it, and so she really likes it and wants to watch it. I have absolutely zero problem watching this. Would I be out there seeking it out if it wasn't for her? No, but at the same time, I enjoy watching this show with her and going through. I enjoy this catharsis of John Stamos.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
5 seconds.
John Stamos' hair.
Perfect. Nailed it. Next week you get 2 minutes.
Has a big
Oh
money
man,
shot.
you realize that this has 10 episodes, right?
Right. So by the end you're going to be like, I watched Big Shot.
Damn it.
That's the goal. Yeah, really. That's where we're headed.
Okay, all right. I finished Rutherford Falls.
Show's good, right?
Show's good.
Oh, all the episodes of that are out.
Oh yeah, all 10 episodes are out.
Okay.
Boy, that ending not good.
Really?
No.
I liked it because I think it leaves a lot of threads open for another season.
It does, but there's not a second season.
Oh, really? Already they have said?
There is no news on if there's a second season.
Well, they might have just not said yet then.
Right. Because that was like, we finished it and my wife and I were like, well, leaves a lot open for the second season. Is there one? And we can't find whether it's been renewed or
It's
not.
pretty early to know.
I mean, it is probably, this is what, 2 weeks in now that it's been available. So they are probably just waiting on that. I mean, you think about, Invincible didn't get renewed until week 7.
Right.
Well, it was like the day before the finale. So,
Yeah.
I mean, with all of it being released at once, I get where that is. I would hope that it kind of gets a little bit of buzz. That show's good enough to get some buzz, I think. That's especially for people who are fans of The Office and Parks and Rec and that kind of stuff. Like, it's not that show, but it's an NBC sitcom that's a little better than it should be for an NBC sitcom. Like, that show would not fly on NBC right now, though, because it's too good for NBC.
Yeah.
It's
a little more prestige. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, even right now, Parks and Rec wouldn't fly on NBC. I mean, that show
you're
almost got
probably right.
canceled like 10 times.
Yeah. It's also not like there's not a ton of laugh out loud funny moments,
No.
so it might not be mainstream enough to be on.
It's definitely, that is not a laugh track show by any sense of the, but does anyone want that anymore? Like,
I think people that watch network TV want that.
okay.
He's correct.
Even if it's cheap laughs, even if it's fart jokes and that kind of stuff. I think.
We were talking about the guy from Mike and Molly,
Yeah.
and you kind of informed me there was a show.
Bob Hart's Abishola.
Yeah, like that. We are so into this like TV snobbery. Like, if someone made us watch like network, I bet it'd be, especially because Caleb is more aware of it than you and I are,
Mhm.
Logan. Like, if someone made us watch network TV, you and I would probably have some eye-opening experiences. Like,
It'd be
oh
bad.
my God, people watch this? Whoo boy.
Whenever anybody tells me their favorite show is Big Bang Theory, I stop right there.
Let me recommend Big Money Shot.
Yes.
You go to the store, and in the back of the store there'll be a curtain. So what you want to do is you go through that curtain and make sure you close it behind you so no one sees what you're doing in there.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Mm.
But mine has saloon doors, Caleb. Is that the same room? The Blockbuster doesn't have that.
There's a black curtain at Family Video.
I got a family video. I'm from Iowa.
I don't think anyone has one anymore. I think they all
No,
closed.
they're gone.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Does the red box have a black box section?
I don't even know if Redbox exists anymore. I haven't seen one in a long time.
I think they're mostly gone, aren't they?
I couldn't tell you. I barely noticed them when they were there to begin with.
right.
All
They
right.
did games for like a brief period, and that worked out okay. But
Yeah, I did get like a game from there one time.
yeah,
I can't remember. I think it was like a random Call of Duty one time.
I think they probably just didn't make enough money on it because they're charging like $1 or $2 a night. Are they really going to rent that thing 30
60
times? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Probably not, because after a certain amount of time, it's just not worth it anymore.
Quickly to the Walgreens. Which one? All of them.
Yeah, they all had them.
Oh God.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're gone, but I don't know.
Yeah, they very well could be.
So that's Rutherford Falls?
Rutherford Falls,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Mm-hmm. It's worth watching, I would say. I think you might get a kick out of
Don't move it
I
to the
might-
top of your list, but
No,
if you get a
I
chance,
might get to it.
yeah.
Yeah, oh no. I think this is one that like, oh hey, you and your wife like got a half hour, throw it on.
We're going to
See
do
if-
Ted Lasso first and then maybe that.
Ted Lasso might spoil her too much.
Yeah.
Well, I know Ted Lasso's
Yeah.
premium, so I'll have
Right.
to
Gonna
be
set the
very
high bar.
This is B tier Ted Lasso.
okay. I'll have to really be choosy, or just let her pick some terrible show, and then it won't be my fault.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Anybody else have any TV
I
shows?
watched the first episode of Yasuke. It's on. This is an anime on Netflix.
Okay.
You guys might actually enjoy this because it's Lakeith Stanfield is the primary voice actor.
Go on.
Also, somebody who's very busy right now.
Yeah. So he plays the. It's funny. He plays the only black samurai in feudal Japan.
Go on.
Right. So, but it's funny because at the beginning of the show they do text to set up the story, and it's like in 1537 or something like that. Blah 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 is happening. So and so is trying to take over, and this is the power struggle between them. And then it, like, keep in mind 1537 or whatever year they said, and then it immediately cuts to giant robots fighting.
I'm in.
So it's like
Yeah.
there's like a faction of like giant robots. There's like a bunch of magic users. There's samurai flying everywhere. That opening fight is crazy. It's nuts.
Are these like half-hour shows or?
Yeah,
hour?
yeah. And I think there's only 6
Yeah,
episodes.
6 is what I'm seeing here.
So I only watched the first one, but it was pretty good. It gives me a little bit of like Afro Samurai vibes. The music is also by Flying Lotus. I don't know if you guys know Flying Lotus. I'm a big fan. So music is great in this show.
Is that Samurai Champloo? Isn't that Flying Lotus?
Maybe? I'm not sure.
I feel like it is, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I'll look.
But yeah,
This looks awesome,
I'm
Caleb.
enjoying it so far. It came out on Friday, so I've only watched the first one so far.
This looks good.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll
Cool.
maybe give this a look. Yeah, was not aware of that.
The other thing that was new, I guess, kind of. Have I explained to you guys what On Cinema is?
Yes.
Okay.
I have watched some episodes of On Cinema with you before.
Okay. So On Cinema, every Oscars, they do an Oscar special. This year, I think their contract with Adult Swim is up. I don't think they were renewed or whatever. So they spun off onto their own thing. So it's called the High Network, like for Heidecker, Tim Heidecker.
Oh.
So I subscribe to this because
course
I'm
you
just
do.
like, I'm
You're a
going to
big-
give
you're
him
a-
money. I love him.
I know you're a Heidecker guy.
And they put out, they do 2 different perspectives. You can watch the stream, like the highly produced stream that Tim Heidecker does as his character, or the other character he's just holding an iPhone the whole time. So you can watch that stream too if you want. And they start out in separate places and then they converge and then they go away. It's super interesting. I have not watched the alternate angle. I have not watched the iPhone footage of it yet, but I'm going, even though it's 4 hours, I am
my.
going to watch it again from that perspective because I just absolutely love what they do. They have this whole universe set up now because there are dozens of hours of content behind this thing at this point. It's unlike anything else that's out there. Their characters have gone through so many arcs. They've set up fake bands. There is a spin-off movie. There is the TV show Decker came from this On Cinema universe. Tim got a role in the Fantastic Four movie because of this show. He was a very small part. He was in the Fantastic Four movie. And then to one up him, the other guy, Greg, got a role in, what was it? Was it the latest Spider-Man? He was like the I think it was when somebody was working at a restaurant or something, and then they go in to talk to the manager, and they get fired, and he's the manager for like that 5 minutes or whatever. It's absolutely crazy how like deep this thing goes, and it kind of weaves in and out of their actual lives, but they're playing characters on top of it. It's not like anything else I've ever seen, and I love it.
It is super weird. Like
Yeah.
the stuff you showed me, like it's weird, but I get like if you really invested your time into watching this and everything else, yeah, it would be great.
Yeah,
It's a lot to catch up on.
yeah. There's a lot.
He's really good in Us.
Yeah.
I'll say that. His
Yeah.
character in Us is. I mean, he's
Yeah.
very good in that movie. That's because I don't consume his work nearly as much as you, but that was my Is that the like from Gone Girl? Is that Medea? Is that Tyler Perry? Is he acting? It was the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Like those are the two that stick out to me. Like you have this thing that you do that you're known for, and then you go into this big budget movie and you just kill it. Oh man, he's great in Us. And I don't think that's a character he's played anywhere else too.
Right.
That's why anybody like Paul Rudd could have played that role. Like any of those guys, Seth Rogen, like any of those common comedy Hollywood guys anybody from an Apatow movie could have played it, but it was him and he freaking killed it.
Yeah.
He's really great in that role. So I didn't feel that way necessarily about the Showtime show. What was the Showtime show?
Moonbase 8.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
I mean, I liked his character on that show, but I was like, that's kind of his thing. That's
Yeah.
quirk. He's doing quirk. But man, he's really good at Us. So,
Yeah.
He's also really good in Beef House.
well, I mean,
Beef.
Beef.
if you guys want to talk Toady now, we can. I mean, it's just,
Beef.
beef.
Oh.
I'm all bunged up. It's just so, thank you and no thank you, Caleb, for what you did to me.
Yeah, that's kind of like I'm in the same boat. Like
I feel like if you guys would have started at the beginning, you'd be reeled into the On Cinema universe. But there's just so much to go back to now. There's no way.
yeah. I get that. That's for sure. The only other thing I watched this week that I don't know if you guys would be into it or not, but I watched on Peacock. Stone Cold does that podcast thing. It's called the Broken Skull Sessions. He does a live kind of interview thing with different wrestlers and stuff here and there. He did one with Jericho. And so this is, keep in mind, this is a WWE network sponsored thing with AEW Chris Jericho on there. So it's kind of almost like just a weird thing that broke the mold from hey, this is actually somebody from a competitive organization on WWE property, which just kind of sounds odd to begin with. But those two can talk.
Yeah.
And they've got stories, and they're good stories. It's about an hour and a half. I watched it in like probably 4 chunks of just like, hey, like here, I'll throw this on for a hot minute while I'm cooking dinner, washing dishes, whatever. It was entertaining enough for that. So I think just the fact that you guys, grew up watching wrestling during that time and have a general idea of what goes on or with that, it's entertaining. So just something that if you get a chance to maybe check that out. It Broken Skull Sessions is what they call it. He's done it with other people before too, but this one has been beyond more entertaining than anybody else. Like just because it's interesting, like to hear how he came up in WCW and like the stuff that he did in WWE, how he left WWE for a while and quit wrestling completely. And so just interesting stuff just because the guy's had an interesting life. He's got good Vince stories. He does a good Vince voice too.
Yeah.
So
I noticed because I was curious if there was any kind of cross partnership outside of Peacock, and it looks like those Broken Skull Sessions are only on that platform.
right, because it's a WWE network thing.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So
the WWE network has moved entirely
It's
to
completely.
Peacock?
It's a channel on Peacock.
Okay. And there you cannot subscribe to just WWE network anymore.
No,
Okay.
and it is It went from being a $10 a month thing to now being $5 a month with commercials on Peacock
With a whole bunch of other stuff.
with a whole
included.
bunch of
Yeah.
other content.
You could watch The Office as much as you want.
Or Rutherford Falls.
Yeah.
I mean, which is I may not have watched
Right.
that if not been for the fact that I signed up for Peacock, and even at that, I'm paying $2 a month right now because of a promo deal. So
Yeah.
not too bad.
Stone Cold came on Talk Is Jericho in exchange.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
So if you want to then have
The reverse.
that's exactly what it is. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So if you want to continue, it literally says we continue the conversation from the Broken Skull sessions.
Yeah, which, because it was all Stone Cold interviewing Jericho about
Yep.
his career, it's probably flips and it's Jericho asking Stone
That's
Cold about his
that's
career.
exactly. It was just on April 14th. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think it was right. It aired after WrestleMania was when they did it, but I could not consume any more wrestling at that point in time. I needed a cool down of a couple weeks before I could handle that. They are doing something random on wrestling this week. AEW is doing they do, instead of doing pay-per-views now, they just do like, hey, this is our during the week random show. So they are doing a big one of those this week.
Okay.
Set your DVRs, maybe. I don't know. It's called Blood and Guts, and they're doing, it's 2 rings, and they're two of the big factions are going to go at each other. Jericho's the lead of one of them, and then this new MJF guy is the lead of the other one. And you'd recognize a lot of the guys on there. On MGF's side, it's WWE's the Revival, the 2 guys that were kind of like shorter, stockier dudes. They're on there now.
Yeah.
There was another guy that was on NXT that was on there, but he's not very good. I don't even remember what his name was in WWE now, but his name is Sean Spears on there now. The promo that they even did last week was like, you couldn't cut it in WWE and you still can't cut it here. Like,
There you go.
like that's fair. And then Jericho's got Jack Swagger was his name. Now he's Jake Hager, which I guess is his real name because he does MMA on the side, and I think he's in Bellator. So he does that as Jake Hager, and then he's got this 2 other guys that are like a tag team, and then Sammy Guevara is this other guy. He's really talented. That guy is Sammy Guevara, MJF. Those guys are really talented, like as performers and talkers. Like they're pretty good at it. But the way it works is like it's one of those, I think, where like every 2 minutes somebody gets to enter the cage. So it's a steel cage with 2 rings in it, and then so it starts off as 1-on-1, and then every 2 minutes only one person from the other team gets to come in. So at some point in time, it's 2-on-1, and then vice versa. It goes 2-on-1, then 2-on-2, and then I think the other team gets to come in, and then it's 3-on-2, but it's from the other side. So that's how they're doing it. Looks interesting enough.
He's 3-0 in Bellator. That's interesting.
Yeah.
39 years old.
Yeah, say a lot of these guys are getting up there. So they're bringing up these younger guys. Like that's like Sammy Guevara, MJF. They're a lot younger, so they're truly trying to blend the old and the new with a lot of this, and I think they're doing a good job of it. WWE is just sad right now. Oh, Daniel Bryan is out of WWE.
Permanently?
I don't know. His contract was up, and they did the whole like career versus title matchup, and he lost it. So I don't know. And he's been going around doing a ton of interviews recently saying, yeah, it sure would be nice to just kind of like maybe just go around and do some dream matches for the end of my career. Like go around to New Japan, AEW, and like AAA and do just random dream matches. So no one knows for sure, but he is like 41 and at the end of his ropes, I think, here, and just trying. I think he might just, unless WWE just throws a shit ton of money at him, which they likely do, probably to keep him there, and maybe he just ends up in NXT or Raw, because, of course, he lost on SmackDown, so they could very easily just say, well, yeah, I lost on SmackDown, so now I'm on Raw now this week. Like, that could very easily be.
If we've learned nothing over time, it's that they can finagle anything they want into a terrible, terrible story.
It's all so bad.
Remember when Bray Wyatt was kidnapping people and we all thought that was cool, and then they were just like, just kidding.
they screwed up that character so bad. I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
And even they had something with Firefly thing, and now that's
They screwed it
toast.
up too.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. They
Oh.
just I don't know. Maybe it's all dictated by whatever decision will hopefully have the best financial outcome. Maybe that's what it is, because it can't be creative. Like, they can't be doing anything in service of creative right now because none of it is interesting.
Not at all. Raw as a brand is probably the worst thing going. I don't watch NXT, so I have no idea.
People still go. People still watch.
I don't know about that. The ratings are pretty bad.
I do believe you there, but I don't know. Those arenas, I still feel like if there wasn't something going on, I do feel like those arenas would still be full.
There
People show up.
before the pandemic, they were not selling out arenas anymore.
Okay.
They were having a hard time.
That's what always surprised me is like, oh, this is so bad. Why is this place full? But also that was probably a year before the pandemic. So
What they were doing was people were buying tickets on the camera side, and
Interesting.
they were moving them. So there were photos from inside arenas a lot that were like looking across where the camera was. There was nobody there.
Interesting. Okay. I don't. Maybe that'll eventually spark change, but it certainly hasn't yet. So
No, I think they're probably banking on the fact that when they do come back, that people will pack arenas again.
could be right. Who knows?
I don't know. I really don't know. So there's a wrestling minute for the day.
Okay, next week you get.
I don't want to have any wrestling talk next week. Let's put it that way. I don't. Can I have a 1 minute a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's
and
fair.
that could go in aggregate through the year.
Okay.
So if
yeah, you can
wanna,
bank your minute if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. So if that
Okay.
last
No.
10 minutes or whatever it was,
Mm.
maybe we wait until next March.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
spent 10 of your 12 for this year. Sorry. So,
Okay, that's fair.
Right before Mania.
Yeah, next
Right?
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Okay. Yeah. It probably will be terrible, like this year's was.
Woof.
I didn't even watch any of it. It was on. In
We
the
had it
background,
on in the background. We
and I
didn't
literally
care.
didn't even look at it.
There were like 2 good matches out of 15.
You're eating into your last 2 minutes.
Oh, we're done. We can just complain about it. That's all.
Anything else this week, guys?
No, I don't
That's
think
it for
so.
me.
All right. Well, next week we're gonna have large phallic hot dogs and full of goo, and we'll be good to go.
Yep.
So, and we'll have Resident Evil talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for this week, and we'll see you next Sunday.